Good day, YouTube. My name is Steve. I'm a personal trainer here on the Isle of Man, age 49, and this is my Achilles tendon rupture recovery. So I'm 6 weeks since the incident occurred, 6 weeks since that memorial game of football where I ruptured my Achilles. If you remember, I was initially placed in a plaster cast for 24 hours, and then I went back to A&E the following day, and I was put in a boot and told to leave it for 3 months. I had a sneaky feeling something wasn't right, so I decided to go across to Manchester to see their orthopaedic team, and I spoke to an ankle and foot specialist who rescanned the area, and after a lengthy debate we decided on the operative route and getting surgery. If you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, it makes sense to go back to episode 1 and catch up on the journey from there. So if you click on the link above, that will take you back to week 1. Okay, so like I say, this is week 6 now. I had 2 weeks prior to surgery where I was in the boot. Then I had surgery 4 weeks ago yesterday. Immediately after that surgery, I was placed in a plaster cast or a back slab. And then I went back to Manchester 2 weeks later to have the slab removed, the stitches taken out, and then I was put in the Ossa Airwalker boot, which I am now in and have been in for 2 weeks. I have a further 4 weeks left in that boot. Now, obviously inside this boot, you can see, if I take the inner liner out, that there are some wedges in there, okay? Now, when I was first put in the boot, I was in the highest point of plantar flexion, okay? This week, being 2 weeks since the stitches have been removed, I have been able to remove one of the wedges now. So I've come down, what's that, about 1 centimetre. So now I'm edging towards neutral. And this is all great for me because I'm one of these people, I'm quite analytical and I need to know that I'm moving in the right direction. So to go from 4 centimetres in height to 3, and then knowing next Friday I'll go to 2, the following Friday to 1, and then I'll spend the rest of the time in the boot in neutral, I know I'm moving in the right direction. And I won't lie, for the first 24 hours, just after removing 1 centimetre, I was a little bit stiff. And I have been back at work this week, so I've been spending a considerable amount of time on my feet compared to those first 2 weeks. So it has been noticeable, but therefore I'm now gaining a better range of movement from being in that position for longer. Okay, so like I say, each week now I'll remove another one of these wedges, and then I'll spend 1 week before coming out of the boot in neutral. So I have 4 weeks left in that boot. Now, obviously, now I'm back at work, I'm moving about a lot. My step count's up to around 7,000 or 8,000 a day. There is heat being generated inside this liner. So what I tend to do, and I'll do this now, I've got this Dettol antibacterial all-in-one disinfectant spray, and I give that boot a real good spray, both sides, and then I'll leave that to air. So I'm going to spend a bit of time out of the boot now. I've got my physio to do in a minute, which I'll show you, and I'm going to let that soak in, and hopefully any odours will be eradicated. So it's been a good week. I say good, I've been able to get my leg training progressive this week, so I've managed to train adductors, which is in a fixed leg position, legs going from out to in. I was able to do some leg extensions on the machine this week, not the banded version, which felt really good. And providing I'm pushing my toes down in the boot and ensuring my foot is in plantar flexion, I feel no risk whatsoever. I was also able to train hamstrings, but definitely I'm not ready to move to the machine in this exercise. I felt much better with the banded version, and you know, I'm not going to be making any progress at this stage, but all I'm hopefully doing is avoiding muscle regression. You know, I don't want atrophy of these muscles. They're going to be important when I get out of the boot and, you know, with regard to progressing after that. So I want to keep the muscle I've got and hopefully retain as much as possible. I am seeing significant atrophy in my calf muscle here. You know, the calf that's left is very, very, shall we say, there's not much shape to it now. It's very flaccid. Although that's quite frustrating, it's inevitable. You know, I've got the boot on for the majority of the day. The foot isn't flexing, the ankle joint's not moving, so that calf is basically redundant right now. And that's why it's important that at regular periods of the day, I get my physio done, which I'm going to show you shortly. Now, with regard to the physio, I've been told not to go anywhere past neutral. So I bought these Therabands. There's a pack of 5. If you remember last time, I think I was on the yellow band, which was the easiest band. It's very, very thin. The next band was the green. I lasted on that about a day and I found that too easy. That then carried me over to the red. And again, within 24 hours, I was finding that too easy. The 4th difficulty was the blue. I was about a day and a half on that, and then I found that too easy. And now I'm on the thicker of the Therabands, which is this nice black colour or charcoal colour. And I'm able to do that to good effect here now. So I'll show you where I'm at with regard to that. Okay, so I think I showed you last week, but I'll try and go through this again. We loop the band around the bottom of the toe, and we make sure that both ends are even there. And this is the key thing here. I'm going to contract my quadriceps to straighten my knee. Okay, we want that leg locked down. Okay, from there, I'm going to keep my foot in a neutral position. Okay, and then from there, I'm just going to push forward into plantar flexion and then return. Okay, now obviously that's firing, you can see, but not much because I don't have a lot of calf left. Okay, and then I'm returning there. So I'm going to neutral, no further, and then driving my foot forward into plantar flexion. I can feel a contraction through the calf at the back here, and then I'm returning. And you'll notice I'm not rushing this. There's a definitive pause in neutral so that the calf gets used to being in that position. And then there's a push from a pause position into maximum plantar flexion there. And again, I'm holding that contraction, squeezing the calf as hard as I can. The gastroc and the soleus are really activated there. Okay, and then slowly returning back to neutral. Okay, it's all controlled. I don't want to be in an uncontrolled environment here. Everything is controlled. And I'm working as hard as I can, keeping a mind-muscle connection. So I'm really trying to squeeze every single centimetre of that calf. Okay, I'm not thinking about the band in my hand. I'm not thinking about my foot. I'm thinking just about lengthening and shortening the calf. Okay, now when I say lengthening, I can only lengthen to neutral. So I'm feeling that shortened position there, where this is about as solid as it can be. And then when I return to neutral, I'm slowly feeling that lengthen again. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. And that's about as far as I can progress that with the bands that I have. Again, I'm also going through the internet with regard to movements. So I'm going A, B, C, all the way through the alphabet, sorry. And I'm progressing with that quite well. And I'm also doing just circular rotations, both directions with the foot there. Okay? And that's about all I can do. Now, like I say, there's some serious atrophy here now. My other calf is probably 4 or 5 centimeters bigger in diameter. But it's all I can do to slow down that rate of regression. I want to keep as much as I can. And just by doing maybe 10 sets of 10 of these during the day with the biggest band I've got, that's, about all I can expect to do for now. Okay, now, just one other thing. I'm still taking these. I'm running low on my supply now, so I'm going to ask my GP if I need to continue taking them. But these are the anti-DVT injections. So I obviously take one in subcutaneous into the midsection. And again, that's because the ankle and the foot and the calf are immobile. That's to stop any risk of deep vein thrombosis. Okay, and this is called Clexane, but there's a number of different medications that people seem to be taking around the world for that. Okay, and that's pretty much where we're up to for now. So like I say, I've been back at work this week, and that's been a really nice distraction. Great seeing all my clients again. Great to be training again as well. Weirdly, I've got another couple of little niggles going on now. I've got a bit of a strain in the bicep area here from when I fell a few weeks ago on the crutches. And I'm having some issues with my rotator cuff as well, but I have been getting physio on these. So hoping that sooner rather than later I'm injury free and I'm able to get the boot off and then start progressing again. So I've got 4 weeks left in that boot now, which I'm extremely excited about getting out of and starting the rehab properly. So that's pretty much it. That's the latest update. And I could quite easily have got away with not doing one this week. Like I said, there's nothing groundbreaking happening here. but I'm well aware that there's a lot of uncertainty with this operation. There's so many different protocols being utilized by doctors around the world. I'm still seeing quite backwards protocols in some countries where they're non-weight bearing for somewhere between 6 to 12 weeks, which I find quite amazing, really. How you can expect to have a pliable and flexible Achilles after that long period out of action, I don't know. Certainly in the UK here, they tend to treat this injury more aggressively. They get you up and about, they get the circulation, they get a little bit of movement going. And I have had a couple of stumbles inside the boot, but fortunately the Achilles is holding up just fine. I felt a little bit of calf pain yesterday, nowhere near the Achilles. It was more just below the knee, where the calf inserts, below the knee. And, I was a little bit worried with that. But once I got home and started doing my exercises, I realized I can still contract my calf fine. And it's just wear and tear. I'm spending more time on my foot. The calf is slowly atrophying. So, it's trying to deal with the workload that I'm putting it through. And it literally was right at the top of the boot, just below the knee. So it's probably just tiredness throughout the day and maybe a little bit of cramp even. But once I got the boots off at home and I started moving my foot, things started feeling better straight away. I'd say, without a doubt, the most frustrating thing at the moment is sleep. It would be so easy for me to take this boot off at night and go to bed without it. But then just my luck, I would have a bout of cramp, or I'd get up half asleep and maybe go to the toilet, and I would forget what I'm doing and just jump out of bed, and potentially I'd be back to square one. And the surgeon did say, you're going to get one attempt to make a real good job of this, and if you re-rupture it, the second time of asking is not going to be as good or successful. So I'm mindful of that. But yeah, so as much as I'm tempted to, I'm keeping that boot on. I'm placing a pillow between my legs. I kind of keep as much of my body outside the duvet as possible to keep cool. I do remove the inner sock at night, so I don't go to bed with this inner tube sock, and I just kind of go to bed with the liner of the boot on my skin, and then make sure everything's sprayed down the following morning. So that's me. That's where we're up to, and I very much doubt that over the next 4 weeks much is going to change. I'm hopefully going to progress my upper body training some more. I'm going to hopefully start building up what I can do on single leg exercises, on my good leg and on my bad leg. But I've got to be mindful, and even the surgeon said this to me, the biggest problem with you, Steve, is slowing you down. We need you to be mindful of the fact that one mistake and you're back to square one. So, those words ring in my ear every morning when I go and do some go to work, or I go and do some training. I need to hold myself back and keep the reins on tight. So nutrition-wise, I think I found my level with regard to calorie intake now. I don't seem to be getting much in the way of body fat accrual. I'm taking in a lot of vitamins, minerals, organic vegetables, good quality proteins. I'm supplementing collagen twice daily. I use the marine collagen from Corexico. Things are very, very all guns blazing towards nutrition and vitality. Like I say, sleep's the big problem, because with the boots on, I'm lucky if I'm getting 5.5 hours a night, reasonable quality sleep. Some nights I'm having a shocker, like 2 or 3 hours. But whether that's being back at work and whether anxiety levels have gone up a little bit, I don't know. One of the problems when you're a coach is the fact that you're on the gym floor most of the day and you don't have a chance to process your thoughts much. So, of course, inevitably, when you get home from work and you do your food prep and you do your bits and bobs and, have a shower and get back, it's sometimes 10 o'clock at night before you can even start to sit down and unwind. Of course, at that stage, your brain then starts processing. So inevitably, quite often when you get into bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock, your brain is in processing mode. And when your head's on the pillow, your brain's very active. And that's one of the downsides to being a coach, is that you struggle with that side of things and bringing that anxiety down to a level where you're going to get a good restful night's sleep. But yeah, it's a mission in progress. And obviously, things have slowed down a lot. So meal prep takes longer. Physio has to be accommodated. Showering takes longer. Everything takes longer when you're immobile to the level I'm at. So you just got to be mindful of that, and we've got to make the best of a bad deal. Right, so I'll leave that there. I doubt there'll be much different in next week's update, but I'll try and update you nonetheless, even if the updates just get shorter. But I'll keep people in the loop as they go. And thank you to everybody who's contacted me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and said they found this journey extremely helpful. That was the one thing I noticed when I had this injury, is that there's very little out there with regard to people blogging or video logging their journey. So, like I say, if this helps anybody or people get any hints and tips from this, then it's a win in my eyes. Okay, so that's Steve's sofa time logging off for this week, and this is the end of week 6.